Hello and welcome to the presentation, Foundations for Literacy. I'm Dr. Stacey Tucci, and I'll be talking about an emergent literacy intervention developed specifically for deaf and hard of hearing preschoolers. Funding for this project was provided by the U.S. Department of Ed, Office of Special Education Program. Licensing was provided by Creative Commons. I'm going to give you a brief introduction before we get started with the presentation. My current position is the project director of a statewide initiative that's looking at increasing the literacy outcomes for students who are deaf and hard of hearing. It's a coordinated effort between the Department of Education and the Department of Public Health, and we are looking to have children who are deaf and hard of hearing be proficient readers by the 3rd grade. Before this current position, I worked as a research associate at Georgia State University. I've also been a teacher of the deaf in both signing and spoken language classrooms, and I have a daughter who is profoundly deaf. So I'll just give you a little introduction to our topic. We know that special educators are required by professional standards to implement evidence-based practices within their classrooms. And you may be familiar with the What Works Clearinghouse website. So this is a screenshot of the What Works Clearinghouse main page. The website offers a catalog of rated evidence-based practices in all grade levels across most academic content areas. Unfortunately, there isn't a single evidence-based intervention, curriculum, or practice specific to deaf educators on the website. And it's well known that the field of deaf education lacks evidence-based instructional materials and practices. So, implementing evidence-based strategies appropriate for our population isn't always an easy task for teachers of DHH students. Therefore, the purpose of this presentation is to orient you to an evidence-based emergent literacy intervention for deaf and hard of hearing preschoolers. Foundations for Literacy follows the adventures and experiences of 4 major characters, 3 school-age students, Pete, Kate, and Sue, and their after-school caregiver, Miss Giggle. Foundations for Literacy is an emergent literacy intervention that supports the development of decoding through language-rich experiences that focus on 3 major strands: alphabetic knowledge and phonological awareness, reading of decodable and function words, sometimes referred to as high-frequency words, and knowledge of fundamental story elements. The major components of the Foundations intervention are phonological awareness. This is the ability to manipulate sounds. We do this at the phoneme, syllable, and word levels in Foundations. Alphabetic knowledge. This is the ability to fluently identify and discriminate among printed letters. Vocabulary, simple grammar, and instructional language. Instructional language is the language necessary for children to complete a task. For example, we taught the phrases put together and take apart using puzzle pieces, so that later when we ask children to segment syllables, let's take this word apart, or blend words, let's put this word together, children understood the instructional language. Lastly, basic story elements, including character and setting identification, sequencing of major events, and simple narrative retells, along with concepts of print, for example, left-to-right directionality. Emergent literacy skills are grouped into 2 areas, code-based and meaning-based. Code-based skills are needed to break the code, or decode written words. Letter-sound correspondences are used to decode words. At, cat. Meaning-based skills are needed to understand at the word, sentence, and connected text levels. So now we can put a meaning behind the word cat. Other examples of meaning-based skills are understanding of sequential language, first, next, then, last, and simple grammar. The girl is running versus the girls are running. Now for some evaluation questions. Question 1. Identify the 2 types of literacy skills. Give a brief definition of each. How does each skill relate to reading proficiency? Question 2. Identify the following foundations components as code-based or meaning-based skills: phonological awareness, vocabulary, story elements, alphabetic knowledge, simple grammar. Provide a brief rationale for each decision. Foundations for Literacy has 4 instructional principles. These include explicit instruction, repeated opportunities to practice skills, multimodal representations of concepts, and learning that is embedded in fun and engaging activities. Now I'll give you a brief explanation of each principle. Explicit instruction. Tell the students exactly what you want them to do and then model the skill or the behavior that you expect. Students should be set up for success. Repeated opportunities to practice skills. Practice contributes to skill acquisition as it builds automaticity, fluency, and mastery. Multimodal representations of concepts. Consider individual learning styles and utilize students' strengths and support areas of weakness. Now I'll give you a brief description for each principle. Explicit instruction. Tell the students exactly what you want them to do, and then model the skill or the behavior you expect. Repeated opportunities to practice skills. Practice contributes to skill acquisition as it builds automaticity, fluency, and mastery. Multimodal representations of concepts. Consider individual learning styles and utilize students' strengths and support areas of weakness. Learning that is embedded in fun and engaging activities increase student motivation and continue student engagement. Make sure you write down these instructional principles, as we will use these principles to evaluate video clips of Foundations implementation. First, we will watch a short clip of a code-based Foundations activity. Keyword blending. Keyword blending develops children's abilities to blend sounds to read a word. In Foundations, unique visual images are used to represent letter sounds. For example, the picture of a popcorn bowl is used to represent the sound of the letter P. The picture of a child going down the slide is used to represent the long vowel sound of the letter E. And a picture of a clock is used to represent the sound of the letter T. When these pictures are laid side by side, children are prompted to produce the sound that is associated with each picture. The teacher models the blending or smoothing together of the individual sounds into the target word. For example, the bowl of popcorn, the child sliding, and the clock would represent p-eat, p-eat, Pete. As the children become accustomed to blending the sounds using the visual images, letters are paired with the images. The images provide a visual mnemonic for the sound, and when paired with the letters, become a scaffold for children's developing decoding skills. As children master the letter-sound correspondences, the visual images are faded, and children rely solely on letters to decode the target words. As you watch the following video clip, remember to look for examples of each of the 4 instructional principles: explicit instruction, repeated opportunities for practice, multimodal representations, and fun and engaging activities.
What are we going to do with this? What do we do with this? We're going to make some words. We're going to use our sounds.
I'm going to make a cake tomorrow.
Let me see. I'm going to try and do this first. Let's see. This word is cake. Amelia, sit up. I think if I put these together, that should be right. Let's see. I'll use a picture. Let's see. I'll sound this out. Lily, I think I got it. You ready? Okay. What's wrong?
It's fake.
That's not cake? What should we change? What would make it cake? What could we do?
This one.
Where should we put it? Okay. Let's try it.
A.
B. K. Abe. Cabe.
No. A. Cake.
Ah! You got it. Good job. Cake. You helped me. Thank you. I thought I had it. Okay, Armand, you ready? I want to make bake, so I would obviously... Lilia. It's Armand's turn, so we gotta listen. Armand. Okay, I've got bake, so if I was gonna do bake, I would definitely need these. Let's see. Let's sound it out. Lilia, we're gonna listen to Armand right now, okay? What's that first sound? A. Akaba.
No.
That's obviously an akaba.
No.
No? Oh no. What should I do? How could I make it? Bake. 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 Good job.
Yay, Armand.
Okay. Let's see.
Now discuss your examples of each instructional principle with your peers. Do you think each principle was utilized successfully? Why or why not? Remember to have your responses available for our future online discussions. Now we will watch a video of a meaning-based activity, the language experience activity. Students replicate the activity in the Miss Giggle story so that they have a meaningful experience in which they practice the letter sound in isolation, strengthen the semantic association between the visual image and the letter sound, and develop a personal understanding of related vocabulary and language. In this story, Pete runs into a sheet hanging on Miss Giggle's clothesline. Kate and Sue think Pete is a ghost, and they make the sound g g g g when they see him. Children learn to associate the picture of a ghost to the sound the letter G makes. As you watch the following video clip, remember to look for examples of each of the 4 instructional principles.
So maybe that's where. Yeah, it was over here. You're right. You're right. But today, the ghost. Okay. So do you remember? Miss Giggle, what is she doing? She's hanging up the sheet. What is that? That is a ghost? No, that is our sheet. Miss W hung it up the same as Miss Giggle. Yeah? Okay.
He's looking for his friend.
He went under the sheet and what happened? He became a ghost?
Yes.
You remember?
Yeah, he will be. Here you go.
They thought, the girls, the 2 of them, they thought that Pete was a ghost. So what happened? How did they feel? Scared. They said g g g. Right? They didn't say the word ghost. They said g g. Can you? Oh, maybe. Can you?
Can I be the goat?
Can you say g g g? Your turn. G g. Your turn. Your turn. Okay. Then they realized it was not a ghost.
No.
Who was it? Was it a ghost?
Pete.
It was Pete. Was it a real ghost or a pretend ghost?
Pretend.
Pretend. It was a pretend ghost. Okay. Let's see.
What's that?
Rylan, he is sitting so nicely. Crisscross, quiet. Okay, hold on. If we see a ghost, we say g, 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 okay? So remember, g, g. Okay. Can you handle it?
That.
G, g.
That time.
All right, good job, Kamazi. G, 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 g. Woo! It's not a ghost. It's just Rylan. Was he a real ghost or pretend? Pretend. You okay? I was scared. Were you scared? Just a little bit scared. Were you scared? No? Why?
Because I'm not sick.
Because you're not scared? If I saw a ghost, I'd be scared.
You.
Yeah, I would. Okay, Rylan, you go sit down. Thanks, son. All right. Good job, ghost.
I'm not a ghost.
Was that fancy? Was that exciting? All right.
Need to focus the apple. I go. Can I be a ghost? Man, you don't need to go.
Just walking along. It's a Oh, it's not a ghost. No, it's just Miss Mara. Whew.
Move your chair.
Were you scared?
No.
Now for your video discussion questions. Did you think each instructional principle was utilized successfully? Why or why not? Now, provide alternate implementation strategies for any instructional principles you felt were not successful. Again, remember to have your responses available for our future online discussions. We've reached the end of our presentation. Here are a few points to remember. It is important for teachers of DHH students to implement evidence-based practices in their classrooms whenever possible. The What Works Clearinghouse website is a great place to start locating and evaluating appropriate strategies. But remember, modifications may be necessary for your students. It is imperative for teachers of the deaf to focus on both code-based and meaning-based emergent literacy skills to support young DHH children's later reading development. Remember to include the 4 instructional principles in your teaching: explicit instruction, repeated practice, multimodal representations, and fun and engaging activities. Lastly, Foundations for Literacy is the only evidence-based intervention created specifically for deaf and hard of hearing children. If you are interested in implementing the Foundations for Literacy curriculum, you can contact me at stacey@gmail.com. That's STACEY 2CHI@gmail.com. I look forward to our discussions.